What's going on, YouTube? This is SG1 Sports, and you're watching our college football channel. We're going to give you the 10 most excited fan bases for the upcoming 2021 college football season, something that we like to do here in the off season. And you really have to kind of wait a little while into the off season to see really, and a lot of this is based off of just reaction to my videos and reaction to the Voice of College Football channels that we have, seeing the comments, seeing the views, seeing all these types of things, and just looking at the teams and how good they're expected to be. All of those things kind of factor into this. And based off of that, we can kind of give you the 10 most excited fan bases for this upcoming season. This is not a perfect list. There's no way to make a perfect list here. It's just based off of the reaction that I've seen. And there are a lot of teams that are going to be left off because there are a lot of, in the offseason, almost every team is really excited for the upcoming season. That's just the way college football is. The offseason, you build all that hype, you get excited, you expect big things, and then for most teams, once you get to the season, you don't live up to those expectations, and your team lets you down. But in the offseason, everyone can get excited. And again, only 10 teams here. I could pick tons more that I've seen plenty of excitement from. And I'm not going to get this list perfect, but we're going to see what we can do. And this is the list of the 10 most excited fan bases for this upcoming season, starting with number 10, Florida State. Now, this one's interesting. Florida State's really interesting. They were only 3-6 last year. I don't think Florida State fans are expecting them to compete for an ACC championship this year, but I think they're expecting a better team. And I think you look at the pieces they brought in through the transfer portal, especially Mackenzie Milton, who may not even be the starter. Who knows what's going to happen there at that quarterback spot. But you look at what they've brought in. This is going to be a different team this year, a team that should be better. Mike Norvell should have things going his way now. And also you look at what they've been doing in the recruiting. So I think there's so much excitement for Florida State just because of that recruiting. We may not see a big, huge improvement in 2021, but they've started to build that momentum, and that's why fans are excited at Florida State. Yes, they're excited going into the 2021 season, but not necessarily for the 2021 season success, if that makes sense. It's the recruiting. They've really ramped it up, and if they have a good year this year, that recruiting is going to continue to be at a very high level, and Florida State could be back. They could be one of those top teams once again. It all starts here with this season, and I think it's going to really depend on what they do on the field. But there is enough on this roster to think this team could really improve this year, could maybe win 8 or 9 games, and I think you see that from a lot of the Florida State fans. A lot of excitement heading into this season. How about number 9? It's Penn State. Penn State was just 4-5 last year, but remember, they won their last 4 games of the season, won 4 games in a row. It was obviously a rough year, but they had some, Micah Parsons decided to opt out. Journey Brown goes down with the injury or has to retire from football. Noah Cain gets injured. So there were a lot of things going against Penn State, and you look for Penn State to really bounce back this year. I expect them to bounce back. I think they're going to be back in the top 25, and I think the Penn State fans also are expecting a bounce back. We did the video on the teams that can make the college football playoff. There were several comments in there from fans saying that Penn State should be included in that list. Penn State could maybe be a dark horse playoff team. So the excitement is there. No, I don't think this is a dark horse playoff team, but they will be better, and I think the fans can sense that. And there's a lot of excitement around this Penn State team for 2021. Let's go to number 8. That's LSU. LSU fans are fired up for this season, and there are some fans that I think you just base it off their reaction. You put LSU at number 1 on this list because there are some fans that think this team could win a national championship this year. I've heard from more than one LSU fan that LSU has the best quarterback room in all of college football. I've heard that. I've heard also that they may have one of the best, or maybe the best defensive line in all of college football. Their receivers coming back. That you hear about all of this hype for LSU from the fans. I'm not saying LSU is going to be a playoff team this year. This is simply based off of the fan reaction. And LSU fans are fired up pretty much every year. They weren't really expecting the drop-off last year that happened. I did predict them to drop off last season. But LSU fans, it seems like they always expect their team to be right there at the top. And I think their fans are really fired up this year. And I think they have a good reason to be. When I look at this team, I do think they can really turn it around, be really good in 2021. Maybe a dark horse playoff 13. We'll see. But they are number 8 on our most excited fan base list here. Let's go to number 7. It's North Carolina. I think most of you would understand this one. They went 8-4 last year, but you saw signs. You saw them, competing with Texas A&M. A couple of those losses, they really just should not have lost those games. They put a beat down on Miami. And year 3 under Mac Brown, year 3 under Sam Howell, North Carolina fans think that this is their year. They might be able to win the ACC, might be able to upset Clemson. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I do think North Carolina can be a top 10 team this year. All the pieces are there. The defense was really young last year. They should be much better, much improved there. Offensively, they've got some guys, got some weapons around Sam Howell. So I think North Carolina could be a really good team, and I think the fans are really excited there. Maybe they could do this. Maybe they could shock the world, upset Clemson, and win the ACC championship. Number 6 is Texas A&M. They were 9-1 last year, and last year I think is a big reason for the hype this year. It seemed like Texas A&M was just kind of stuck. They were a good team every year, but they just had not reached that next level. Go back to last year, they were very close to making it into the college football playoff. Some would argue that they should have been in the college football playoff. And you look at what they have coming back. Yes, they lose Kellen Mond, but there's a lot of hype around Haynes King. A lot of Texas A&M fans keep saying that he's going to be better than Kellen Mond, that this is a good thing that they lose Kellen Mond. So we'll see how that plays out. But defensively, they got a lot of guys coming back. Some of their biggest weapons on offense will be back. So Texas A&M fans really excited for their team, and they think that this could be their year to maybe knock off Alabama, maybe win the SEC championship and go to the college football playoff. Number 5, we got Georgia. Now, Georgia is on this list every year. You've always got fans, and I'd say a pretty good chunk of fans that say Georgia's going to win the national championship. I mean, it's every year. Georgia fans are always fired up. They are always expecting their team to compete for a championship. I mean, every single year. This year, though, that hype is real. I mean, you look at this team, you look at JT Daniels coming back, the offense taking that next step. They're going to be really explosive on that side of the ball. Defensively, yes, they lost some guys, but they have plenty of talent. We know how Kirby Smart has recruited. They brought in some transfers. So, yeah, Georgia, a serious championship contender this season. Georgia fans really excited. And, again, I've seen multiple fans saying that this team is going to win a national championship this year. We'll find out if that does happen. At number 4, we got Clemson. Clemson was 10-2 last year. A disappointing finish to the season. Trevor Lawrence is gone. You might say, well, this team, they shouldn't be all that excited. I mean, you had a rough year last year. I'm 10-2, rough year. But, Trevor Lawrence is gone. ETN is gone. But when you look at what they have coming back on defense, I think that's where fans are really excited. They think this Clemson team can get back to playing an elite level of defense. And you see DJ Uiagalelei, who played a full game last year against Notre Dame. We have now seen him. We know that he is the real deal. They brought in a great recruiting class. I know a lot of Clemson fans are excited about some of these freshmen coming in, and I've seen a lot of excitement from Clemson. Clemson, from a lot of people, this is the team to beat. A lot of people are considering Clemson the favorite to win the national championship this year, and the fans are obviously very excited. Number 3 is Alabama. Alabama, for 2 years in a row, they did not win a national championship. I think that kind of humbled some of the Bama fans a little bit. We didn't hear as much trash talking from Alabama fans the last couple of years. But now that they've won it again, now that they've won a national championship, 13-0, great season, one of the best teams, I think, in the history of college football, the fans are back. The expectations are back for Alabama, and they never really left. It was just a little bit quieter coming from the Alabama fans. Now they are expecting to win a national championship again this year. The defense is loaded. Going to be back to one of the better defenses they've had, I think, under Nick Saban. And Bryce Young, of course, looked great in the spring game. Alabama fans are expecting him to be the next big thing. They have so much young talent. Just put together I believe, the best recruiting class of all time in the history of, since they've been keeping up with these recruiting rankings. So Alabama has a lot to be excited about in 2021, and I think Bama fans are back to that level of excitement where they're not hoping to win a national championship. They're expecting to win a national championship, and of course, they are very fired up for this season. Number 2, though, is Iowa State. Didn't know that we would ever see Iowa State at number 2 on this list, but the Cyclone fans are expecting big things in 2021. They went 9-3 last year. Of course, looked really good against Oregon in the bowl game. But it's what they have coming back. I mean, this team has so much coming back. Brock Purdy coming back, Breece Hall coming back, Charlie Kohler coming back. I mean, they are absolutely loaded, and we saw how close they were last year to making that big step into the college football playoff, potentially. You know, a couple of close losses in there, but you look to 2021 and you think this might be their year. And Iowa State is not a team, when I do videos on Iowa State, they are not normally near the top in views. I don't get that many views on Iowa State videos most of the time. But I tell you what, Iowa State is right up there with some of the top teams in college football because the fans are excited. They are expecting big things. And if it wasn't for their number one team, this is a team that might have the most hype in the Big 12 coming into this year. But no, it is number one. It's Oklahoma. Oklahoma, in my opinion, is the most excited fan base for this upcoming 2021 season. We've seen it across, all across YouTube, the comments on the videos, the reaction to the videos that I've done. Oklahoma fans think that this is their year. They finally have a defense. That's, I think, a big reason for the excitement. You know what they're going to bring on the offensive side of the ball. Now they've got a good defense. Oklahoma fans really believe that this is their year, not just to win a playoff game, but maybe win a national championship. And I tell you what, on our Voice of College Football channel that we have, Oklahoma we just started this channel on, I think, February 10th. So in 2 months and 10 days, this channel went from 0 to 1,000 subscribers, just a little over 2 months. That just shows you the excitement for Oklahoma football. It's crazy. And again, this is a team with a lot of hype, an excited fan base, and I think the most excited fan base for this upcoming 2021 college football season. Again, there are teams I left off. I mean, you can point to a big one, Ohio State. How do you leave off Ohio State? Well, Ohio State is excited for this year, but compared to most years, I don't know. They're going to have a new quarterback, some questions on defense. Yeah, they should be in this conversation, of course, but we can only pick 10 teams. And Ohio State fans are always excited. So I think compared to a normal year, that level is maybe not all that high. Ole Miss, a team that I think could be see a lot of excitement this year with year 2 under Lane Kiffin. Their weapons back on offense. I mean, you could go down the list. The majority of fans in college football, the majority of fan bases are excited for this upcoming season. But these were the top 10 for me based off of what I've seen. Where did I get it wrong? Who should I have put on this list? Let me know your thoughts on this down in the comments below. Thank you for watching this video, and stay tuned for more here on the SG1 Sports College Football Channel.